So, does anyone care to touch on this further?
My name is Jerry. I left MAGA and I'm here to spill all the beans. Except the beans I'm spilling this time are about myself. I'm going to tell a little bit of my story, a little bit of my past. I was in the Air Force from 82 to 87, so I was in Reagan's Air Force. Um, I've been talking about Operation Condor, and it's because apparently my ideas of going to college changed into going into the military, not specifically to go join the weapons lab, but uh, I wanted to be on board radar repair for fighter aircraft. I thought I'd be able to maneuver that over into the civilian population after 20 years in the service, and because I had an electronics background, and then I'd go into the civilian population and work on commercial aircraft. That didn't work out either. And we'll get it. I'll get my story unfolded as we move along. But instead, I ended up taking an open administrative contract and went into supply. And my first permanent duty station was at Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at what was then known as the Air Force Weapons Lab. It's now the Phillips Contractors Air Force Research Lab. I'll track the history on that for you at a later date. But one of the things I wanted to do was share this video, and it's the Airborne Laser Lab test firing its airborne laser. I've got a couple of videos lined up. This overall episode probably won't be all that long. But yeah, this is test firing from the Airborne Laser Lab in 1980. So a couple of years before I showed up. Let's take a look. The upload date on this is March 1st, 2018, but it's obviously older than that. Let's see what we got here.
Okay. 10 seconds. 061, Bulldog. Could you verify what Ford said? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, splash. There's it.
Now this portion of Kirtland Air Force Base.
It's stop. 401, Bulldog, push it, bronze, okay. 8. 1 splash. Yeah. Okay, laser safe. Successful. Roger, laser safe. Roger, laser safe.
Kirtland Air Force Base covers 50,000 acres. Only 5,000 of it's actually populated. So let me introduce you to the Airborne Laser Lab. It's they're calling it the Airborne Laser Test Bed, and they actually show some footage here. Now this is way after I left. Now one of the restrictions that we ran into originally was the fact that we were only running a single laser, and because of particulates in the air, it caused the laser beam to blossom. It caused it to spread. So what they ended up doing was coming up with a primary laser that had a tighter focus on the beam and could ionically burn a channel through the atmosphere, clearing a way for the more focused, more energetic beam behind it. So I may have these little. No, I do have the right one up next. All right, because I got a couple of other videos that I want to show you as to where the technology has gotten to. So let's go ahead and get into this other video.
February 11, 2010. You're watching a short-range ballistic missile target being destroyed by a high-energy laser mounted on a modified Boeing 747, while both are in flight. The Missile Defense Agency's Airborne Laser Test Bed reportedly carries a megawatt-class high-power chemical oxygen iodine laser that's coupled with precision pointing and atmospheric correction equipment, and it is now proven capable of knocking a ballistic missile out of the sky.
At this point, I want to interject that, yeah, Raytheon Technologies has developed a megawatt generator. I can talk about it another time. I find this stuff fascinating, but I've also helped spin it into conspiracy theories with I'm just asking questions, bro. Because like with the Lahaina fire out in Hawaii, what was that, a couple of years back? Um, there was this whole conspiracy theory about Jewish space lasers. I didn't think it was Jews. I'll get into more airborne laser weapons later. Although as things unfolded, I'm pretty sure that the fire that happened in Lahaina was a combination of natural disaster and poor management on mankind's side. I don't think it was intentional. The follow that's a whole nother ball of wax. That's a whole nother ball of wax. So let's get back to this video about this really crazy flying laser system.
Onboard sensors detect the boosting missile, track it, compensate for atmospheric disturbances, and then blast the target with the laser, heating the boosting ballistic missile to critical structural failure. The entire event, from launch to target destruction, took less than 2 minutes in the test. The system is the result of a cooperative effort led by Boeing in partnership with Northrop Grumman, which supplies the laser, and Lockheed Martin, which is developing the fire control system. The aim is to deter enemy missile attacks by disabling the attacking missiles while they are in the boost phase.
And the original hopes were that we would be able to refine the design to an efficient and enough system that it could easily be mounted on fighter aircraft so that they would be able to have additional defenses against in dogfights and such. There was also talk at that time of holographic laser projection of a wingman, with the idea that an enemy pilot would look at their radar and see three targets and look out in front of them and see 12 and be confused. Not taking into consideration radar locked and heat signature locked missiles. Anyway, I digress.
That means hitting a target capable of 4,000 miles per hour with a beam of light traveling somewhere close to 670 million miles per hour. As you can see from this cockpit camera view, the relative motion can seem quite small. The U.S. Missile Defense Agency hopes similar devices will one day be capable of tracking and attacking multiple targets at a range of hundreds of kilometers at a lower cost than current technologies. But for now, the price of the program is a problem. Defense Secretary Robert Gates canceled what had been an order for a second airborne laser system. The original will continue to participate in experiments.
So there's that. Now let's see. I need to pull up this other window because have been some developments. Let's see. Let me turn that off. Turn this on. There have been some developments through Lockheed Martin, and this is as of 2017. And this is has really come a long ways as well. It's all this money that they keep dumping into this stuff. You know what? I might ought to mute that music. Just simply because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I mean that in 2017, you're talking 30 kilowatt generator or a laser there, and now Raytheon has developed a 1 million watt generator, and Lockheed Martin has developed a 1 million watt laser. Again, I can get into that stuff at different time. But yeah, there they showed using a high power laser to burn a hole through into an engine of a truck from a mile away. Um, yeah, 58 kilowatt beam. That was world record in 2017. We as of about 20. Yeah, they're not mounted on fighter planes yet. Although I do have something I want to show you. But yeah, Um, Crazy stuff, man. Just crazy stuff. They're talking about cost per shot being considerably less expensive than deploying large missiles. And this without this being a research project, I don't think I'm going to be sharing it the links. This is just kind of part of my story. But you can see what I'm looking at, and you can go dive it if you want to. So this is interesting. The Thor tactical high power operational responder destroys swarms of enemy drones. Now, this is not a laser weapon, but this was developed by the Air Force Research Laboratory, which is the evolution of the Air Force Weapons Lab. In the Air Force Weapons Lab, we had like the high energy weapons department. We had the nuclear technologies department, and now they're not departments; they're directorates. So there's the high energy directorate, there's the nuclear directorate, there's the space directorate. I found that rather disturbing. But let's see, how long is this video? Okay, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Yeah. Oh, I thought I had. Hang on. Yeah, no, I'll get to it here in a minute. Let's just go ahead and take a look at this Thor system. It's kind of crazy. Again, probably. Here, let's just go ahead and turn on the subtitles. Get away from any possible copyrights of music or soundtracks. But oh, how terrifying, right? You got some enemy out there, and he just launched a whole bunch of drones at you. Now, this is from June 8th, 2021. Those drones look a lot like those Russian ones that were flying in on Ukraine. But yeah, so they're talking about how horribly devastating these drones potentially could be. It looked to me like they were overdoing the munitions payloads on them. And then again, they might have been using time chops of or chunks of C4. I don't know. Small arms are ineffective. Large weapons are too expensive. So what do you do? Lasers. Portable, high-powered lasers. Now we got Thor here. Focused beam of energy to defeat drones in large numbers. That's non-kinetic. It's circuitry disruption is what it is. Look at that. They could just like, yep, they could fly it in on one of my Red Horse runways with that cargo plane and just deploy that sucker anywhere. I mean, it's kind of cool and all, but if it wasn't for the military industrial complex and all them fat cats getting even fatter, making money off of uniform components, bootlaces, boots, patches, body armor, gas masks, all of it, every stitch, every bandage, all as a collateral cost of these destructive systems. So this one I'm going to go ahead and let the guy talk. It's only a couple of minutes long, and it does I think he does a pretty good job of trying to explain what the Air Force Research Lab has developed. As far as I know, they have it. I mean, it is technically plausible that that the Air Force Research Lab has a deployable version of this because it's based on the Tomahawk cruise missile, which is a platform that was developed by the Air Force Weapons Lab. Now, I've got a story about that. That deals with when I was attached to Red Horse over in England. Anyway, let's check this out.
Though we can't show actual images of the CHAMP or Counter Electronics High-Powered Microwave Advanced Missile Project, this animation shows a simulated weapon flying over selected targets, hitting them with high-power radio wave bursts and defeating their electrical and data systems without causing injury or collateral damage. But it was no simulation Tuesday over the Utah Test and Training Range, where Boeing and the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory's Directed Energy Directorate successfully flew the first fully operational CHAMP weapon.
We hit every target we wanted to. We prosecuted everyone. Today we made science fiction science fact.
This video, recorded during an earlier test, shows what CHAMP is capable of. Watch the computer screens in this office as the directed energy hits the building. While the computers were knocked out, there is no structural damage. Fade to black.
When that computer went out, when we fired, it actually took out the cameras as well. We took out everything on that. It was fantastic.
Excellent team. I mean, like I said, the reason we are successful is due to the team and the team effort.
A non-lethal weapon that can defeat targets without collateral damage is an idea that's been portrayed in television and film for decades. But this, says AFRL Champ Lead Test Engineer Peter Finlay, is no movie.
We're not quite.
Now, who was president in 2013? That was Barack Obama, right? Now, I'm not giving him credit for this particular program. I'm just saying that since 2013, I mean, it's 2026 now. In fact, let's see. Today is February 16th, 2026. This video was released February 24th, 2013. So almost 13 years to the day. And America's ideas of combat have radically changed. Radically changed. It's insane in my opinion. I'm trying to explain how we got here, but this just hit me with reality check.
Up to the place where the Star Trek and Star Wars movies are, but this is definitely an advancement in technology to be able to give us an opportunity to do things that we couldn't do before.
James Dodd, Vice President of Advanced Boeing Military Aircraft, says his team is focused on developing the innovation to protect U.S. troops.
We know this has some capabilities and some impact, and so we're really trying to engage the customer and see if there's a way that we could actually get this fielded and implemented sooner than later.
After its first flight, the CHAMP missile flew to an undisclosed location on the test range, and the flight was intentionally terminated. Boeing and AFRL teams are now analyzing the data and telemetry from this flight, which not only made history, but stands to change it as well.
Yeah, non-lethal combat. I really like that idea. I really do. But then there's also this aspect. Apache helicopter laser weapons on test by Raytheon. And this is June of 2017. Who was president at that time? That was old Donny Boy, right? I'm sorry I ever voted for him. I really am. But I was in a cult. I didn't know I was in a cult until I realized I was in a cult. I'll run the risk on this because I don't want to monetize my channel anyway. So in 2000, in 1980, the laser system that it took to attack a tank was carried on a 737. So 747 model was a updated version. It's unclear what will be operational. Alright, so there's a bunch of that. Let's see. I think I have one more video to share. I think. Oh yeah, this Air Force recruiter video, a recruiting video. This was a kind of a cool little selling point for me. I mean, this post dates this post dates my time in service. This video was posted by U.S. Air Force Recruiting, December 18th, 2015, but it's this sort of test footage when I was going through orientation at the Air Force Weapons Lab. That's I thought was pretty cool, man. I mean, I was a young buck. I was 18. I like things that go boom. Air Force slow-mo cruise missile impacts. Crazy, man. Just crazy how many different ways we have of inflicting so much damage. Anyway, so there's a little peek into some of the stuff that I had my hands in when I was in the military. I'll talk later about a couple of the DARPA projects that I worked on when I was in college and show you where they've developed to. I'm not saying that I had any impact on these things, but I was in supply. I was the one that talked to the engineers and at the weapons lab, and I helped them find the components that they needed. It was a good time. It was fun. There was a lot of fun. I was stationed in Albuquerque. Our building was an old commissary building, so it was base supply. It was our logistics department, our engineers, and so it was this big, huge commissary building right next to the flight line. And I remember it would have been mass ascension of, I think, same with England in '84. So it would have been the mass ascension in Albuquerque in 1984. And a bunch of us got to work early that day and climbed up on top of the building and watched the hot air balloons take off at the fairgrounds from base. And then went back downstairs and went to work. We were at work on time. Yeah, that was fun, standing on top of the old warehouse with some coffee. We also got to stand up there when the Thunderbirds flew in, and there was one pass that two of the pilots did where one of the F-16s was inverted and one's right side up, and their wings are overlapped and were crazy close to each other. And when they flew by, they were close enough that I couldn't, of course, they were going by fast enough. I couldn't make out the lettering, but they were close enough that I could spot. And if I could have gotten a picture, I would have been able to read the lettering and see all the markers on the fuselage right there under the canopy. Good times. It was fun, but um, I went from a doomsday cult into a doom inflicting cult. So it seemed like sort of a natural progression. Looking back on it though, it was really weird. Um, anyway, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. All right, folks. I guess I'm gonna put this one in the confessional. If you stuck it out to the end, thanks for hanging out. That gives you a little further insight into who I am and where I've been, and what I'm, yeah, yeah, who I am and what I've been, where I've been, what I've been. That too. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. Anyway, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, get the rest that you need, and stay hydrated, hippie.
Everybody